miracle soon.
We keep having all these problems, how we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of arguing and lying, so goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, that juice. It is Monday, y'all. Happy Monday, September the 23rd, 2024, and today the topic is empty promises. Again, happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good. Overall, yeah, my weekend was kind of busy overall. I mean, there was things going on. Shout out to my family, man, on my mom's side. They got together for the family reunion. Unfortunately, I had to miss it, but it looked like everybody had a good time. I had my men folk, my Darios, they went on my behalf, or they went without me. Because Saturday, your girl was scheduled to get certified. So now your girl is certified in youth mental health, first aid, or whatever the case may be. So look, to God be the glory for certifications that your girl wasn't even like looking for. You know what I'm saying? So that was a blessing. Shout out to Mountain West Church, man. I'm so grateful for the different opportunities and open doors and windows and X, Y, and Z that I have been presented with. And that was another one. That was another one that came through. And so I was in the training for that on Saturday. And then I had, told one of my church friends that I would come to their housewarming and whatnot on Saturday as well. So I did. Keep that promise. Speaking of empty promises, I did keep that promise, and I went to their housewarming, which was really nice. I saw quite a few church people there, so that was nice to see familiar faces. Played some good old games like culture tags, and a new one that I never heard of before. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of Mafia? We played that as well, and that was fun. So yeah, that's what my Saturday looked like. Yeah, what had happened was, I guess somehow I thought that the family reunion was this weekend. That's coming up on the 28th. I had that on my calendar for like all year. And then all of a sudden, like the week of, I find out that it's not. And I'm like, what? When did it change? And all this type of stuff. But again, I had already had those things in place. So, it is what it is. I'm just one person, you know what I'm saying? I can't do it all. Well, I can't be everywhere at the same time, but yeah, because by the time I got done doing those things and then have to travel down to my hometown, it wouldn't have made sense for me to go. So I'm glad my husband and son went. I know my sister just tagged me in this photo, and it was like the family and without me or whatever. And I was like, ooh, well, prayerfully Thanksgiving. For I'll be seeing them all again, and I guess can make up for it in some way, but we'll see what the Lord do. But anywho. So yeah, that was Saturday, y'all. And then Sunday was busy too. So yes, your girl was like, it was all hands on deck because the kids director or the elementary director and his wife was not there. So it was all on your girl to run and manage all three gatherings on Sunday. And so that I did. Clearly I was tired and whatnot when I got home. So all I did when I got home was ate something, went to sleep. And woke up like whatever time, because when Dario was leaving, I woke up and was thinking like, is it Monday? But it was still Sunday when I woke up, and so I was wide awake throughout the night and whatnot. But yeah, it was a busy day. It was baptism day yesterday as well. My understanding is it was like 20 or 30 people dedicated their lives to Christ yesterday through baptism. So to God be the glory for that, y'all. Look, one more. And we did have one young lady that was in our ministry who, every time I see her, I just feel like a little warm thing in my heart. I don't know if it's because she looked like somebody to me or what, but all I know is she was coming to Wednesday nights. I want to say last year, she would come to Wednesday nights for childcare. but I didn't recognize her for Sundays. So I was like, do you come on Sundays? And we would have that conversation or whatever. And then she started coming on Sundays, and I'm like, oh, okay. So anytime she sees me, it's like she goes out of her way to be like, hey, Miss Spirit Girl. And I'm like, hey, girl, and whatever like that. And so she was one of the people that got baptized yesterday. So we took some time to pray for her before she went and everything like that. And I gave her that shout out, like, look, y'all, y'all can get baptized, X, Y, and Z. And she knew why she wanted to do it, and X, Y, and Z, and it just was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I think I got a lot of confirmation of how important it is, the work that I'm doing. But every now and then, like stuff like that, when that happens, it's just another like heartwarming, tearjerker thing. So to God be the glory, man. I'm grateful to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm not saying I had a direct impact on her choosing to get baptized, but all I'm saying is I remembered when she wasn't coming to the Sundays, and she can't. Now she started coming, and then now she's getting baptized, and that's a blessing to see these different transitions and moments and whatnot. But anywho, I know it's a lot of good stuff to talk about and whatnot, but let's get into this conversation, friends. Look, empty promises. What was the inspiration today? Well, I woke up this morning. I believe the Lord woke me up at 6:16, and that's significant. But we that in a minute. And I can't remember exactly what led me to my first thoughts. I guess it just came to me first. I had some interesting dreams that I was waking up to last night as well. I won't say I had multiple dreams, but I didn't write it down. I know. Every now and then when I do remember enough to write them down, I try to go ahead and do it when I get up. But this morning was not one of them mornings. But anyway, I don't think there was any transition per se. I remember listening to the prayer meditation. What was the phrase that came into my heart and mind this morning? I can't remember. It was like, um, uh, I thought it was coming to me. Let me see. Okay, I settled on empty promises after I went deeper about the other phrase, whatever that phrase was. I think it was something like fulfillments or something along those lines. And then eventually, as I was going deeper about understanding, why God was bringing these things to my heart and mind about like, oh, I wish I had wrote it down now. I got it on my other phone, but maybe I'll go deeper about it in the after show for those that actually care about like how I get to my topics. But just know that I was studying whatever that phrase was. Eventually, the phrase empty promises came into my heart and mind. So that's why I decided to name this episode that. And then ultimately, it's just, again, there could be a lot of things of inspiration. I mean, who knows? Maybe Saturday was inspiration, making promises and not wanting to, not fulfill them, X, Y, and Z, or my mind necessarily wasn't necessarily on that. But yeah, hopefully I'll remember when I look at my notes and whatnot and my process of waking up and all the stuff that I did this morning. I'll share it with y'all if y'all care about it in the after show when I get done using the other device to record the juice. So let's get into the conversation itself, okay? Empty promises. This can be like an individual one-on-one conversation, right? With people, right? Because there could be people, including ourselves, right? We all can, risk having empty promises or making empty promises. But then again, at the same time, too, this could be on a larger scale of like making observations about what's really going on and like if there are empty promises being made or if there's like truth, and things of that nature. And I know people like to have a conversation like it's my truth, your truth, everybody got their own truth, stuff like that. But I don't come from that perspective. I'm sorry. Now I think that we all can have different points of view, but there's one truth and we all have different points of view of it. And some choose not to believe it, things of that nature. So that's the perspective that I come from when it comes to that. But yeah. So with that being said, I know that there could be multiple ways to look at this conversation about empty promises, but let me get y'all what the Bible has to say, right? Let me share with you guys these things that were standing out to me this morning. So Proverbs 25:14 says, like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift he does not give. Now that's that's a word all by itself, man. And I think maybe a lot of us can relate to that, right? Yeah. Have you ever been around someone that's like always talking about what they do, or always talking about what they can do or give or something like that, but you will never see them doing or giving or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like that's what that verse is talking about here. It's like you say one thing, but then you do the complete opposite, things of that nature. Obviously, verses like let your yes be yes and no be no came into my heart and mind, and stuff like that. A lot of biblical wisdom can be surrounded about this conversation about, again, making empty promises. But I would say, as I was studying, I was more so, I guess, getting the revelation to focus on these things. So let me give you this next verse. 2 Corinthians 11:14. It says, and no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Listen, y'all, the enemy out here is not playing with us. Like, at the end of the day, I can't help but think about Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had everything. God made him in their image. God made them in his image, and so probably in every way possible that God had granted them, they were like him, But here come the enemy tempting them with this idea of being more, right? Or not being like him. And y'all can see where we are today by the choices and whatnot made at that particular time. And again, I'm talking about Bible here. So according to the Bible, right? So it's just one of those things. And then it's like you believe, right, the enemy or the serpent or whatever the case may be, you believe Satan, right, over God when he made promises that he couldn't fulfill. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made promises or made, like, sowed that seed of discord or put that little idea in your mind. And it's like, what did this thing do for you to even like entertain him at all? Like, God had given everything. You had walked with God, X, Y, and Z, right? But then here comes this temptation that makes empty promises, and then we get surprised when they don't get fulfilled, right? We get upset, right? We get I don't know, discouraged, whatever words you want to add in there, right? To say how we feel when the truth comes to the light, right? When the other foot drops, as they say, or whatever the case may be. It's sad, it's a sad thing to think about. But let me give you guys, I guess, a little hope. Here's Numbers 23:19. It says, God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? One of the phrases that came into my heart and mind this morning as I was reflecting on all of this was, I guess, God asking the question, when have I not fulfilled my promises, right? When have I not done what I said I was going to do? Now, granted, there's these times in the Bible that it says God said he was going to do something, right? Probably something like allow, people basically, man, why the word is going away from my heart and mind right now? Lord, bring these things to me. I don't know, the enemy trying to get in there. But basically, friends, there are times that, God said that, okay, look, I'm about to do this. And he sent a messenger like Jonah, right, to the nation of Nineveh and things of that nature to say, hey, God's getting ready to judge you, right? Or God's going to judge you, X, Y, and Z. And then when you repent, right, and when you turn back to him, and when you acknowledge that, what, Lord, my apologies, you know what I'm saying? Let me humble myself and X, Y, and Z. Like, when we do that, then he changed his mind. That's what it looks like to us, right? It looks like he changed his mind and did, gave them a little bit more grace instead. Now, some people, I mean, I guess you could use that as a loophole to say, well, God didn't keep his promise, right? But, others would be grateful, right? Others would be like, you know what? God was going to do this, but because I, humble myself, repented, X, Y, and Z, he allowed, again, more grace and mercy, and it shows his long-suffering nature. Like most people, I think, in our right minds, right, would appreciate that and not use that as a thing to point the finger and say God didn't, keep his promise. Ooh, see, that's a way. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second too. But let me go ahead and give y'all another verse. James 1:22. It says, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. I know this is a very familiar verse, especially on the Jews. I feel like I'm reading this probably every week. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? but I just feel like it's just one of those important things. Again, we're talking about empty promises. Now, again, on a smaller scale, somebody's making empty promises to you, or if you're out here making empty promises, maybe it might not be that big of a deal. You're probably just going to either, change how you deal with that person or people, or expect people to change how they deal with you. They're probably not going to trust you, right, with big tasks, or big things, or important things, right, things of that nature. If you're making empty promises. But again, this could be on a large scale as well. Like, let's look at, I don't know, we hate to talk about this, but it is that time of year, y'all. Let's look at the government. Let's look at the political parties and things of that nature. I mean, who's making empty promises, who's not, you know what I mean? Like, who's making good on what they say they're going to do, who's not. Um, that's a whole nother conversation, y'all. Look, seek the Lord about that, individually or X, Y, and Z. But so again, all I'm saying is that it could be on a smaller scale between individual people, or it can be on a larger scale against like what we should believe about who we put in power as government, or all these different type of things. But regardless, let's just look at ourselves, right? Let's start with look, the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror, right? Um, this again, conversation about empty promises can start with us. Like, are we making empty promises, friends? Like, are we being men and women of our word, right? Are we trusting God, right? Are we looking at God like he's making empty promises? And if that's how we're looking at him, what can we do to get an understanding of the bigger picture, because again, a lot of times I think when God doesn't answer our prayers, right, or if God doesn't do things the way we think he should, then we're thinking that, oh, there's no God, or he's making empty promises, or he don't care about me, or whatever we think, right, or whatever the enemy tries to put into our minds about God. But ultimately, I think, one, as we seek God and his wisdom and things of that nature, we'll start to see that, maybe those prayers didn't get answered because they weren't supposed to, or maybe they didn't get an answer because God has something better for us, things like that. There's a bigger picture at play here, in a bigger story, or whatever the case may be. And so, these are just things to think about. I think I only had like one more verse that I wrote down this morning, friends. And it is this. Yes. So let's go back to the time I woke up this morning. So I knew that it was significant the time I woke up this morning, 6:16. And I took a look at the verses and whatnot. I think I put one section in the go deeper section for you guys to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. Matter of fact, in regards to this conversation, um, one section of those verses talk like it's kind of talking about like with God, and then the other is talking about being against God, X, Y, and Z. So y'all can do all of that on your own. Go deeper. That's part of the go deeper section. But let me leave you guys with Jeremiah 16 and 6. No, excuse me, 6 and 16. Jeremiah 6 and 16. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." Friends, listen. And I was writing that verse down this morning. It's just, ugh. Like, on one hand, it sounds like, good news, because you're like, okay, this is what the Lord is telling us to do. When we come to those crossroad moments, seek the Lord about what the good way is, right? What the path that we need to take, X, Y, and Z. Matter of fact, I was going deeper about this and came up with some, verbiage in X, Y, and Z about this, and going deeper about Ephesians 16, right? Why am I saying that wrong? Sorry. Jeremiah 6 and 16. So hopefully y'all see some more content about that soon. But I mean, I know we've all been there, man. We've all been at these crossroad moments. And, again, maybe we're facing choices. Maybe we're facing people that are giving us empty promises. Maybe we've made empty promises. Maybe, we don't fully trust God, X, Y, and Z, because we think, man, he's not answering our prayers. Wherever you are in regards to this conversation, I hope that you're encouraged and inspired to seek the good way, right? I know it may seem like, these things are old, right? That's biblical stuff. Like, and even I asked the question, and I was like, well, Lord, how can we make this relevant for today? And I mean, it seems very relevant. Like, when I read this verse, I don't just think about, again, the nation of Judah, which he was talking about. I think about, like, this is us today, right? And we're at the crossroads, individually, right, and collectively. We're at the crossroads, and God is saying, "Hey, choose the way that I have created for you." But the issue is that we keep being like that nation of Judah, right? And saying that last part of the verse that unfortunately stands out the most. It says, "But they said, we will not walk therein." We do that all the time, again, as individuals, and look, as a nation, as the world, we keep making that choice over and over again. And I was, took some time to think about that, because I'm like, well, how did it work out for those that did that? Now, any nation that I know of that made those type of choices, I mean, it didn't work out well for them at all. It didn't work out for the biblical figures that did that. It didn't work out for the nations that we know of, and X, Y, and Z. And it's not working out for us to, again, go against the Lord. So, I mean, again, choose you this day who you're going to serve. At the end of the day, God is not in the business, as they say, of making empty promises. But the enemy does. That's all he can do, right? Father of lies. Like, he can't do nothing else, really. Even if he fulfills whatever quote unquote promises. I know a lot of people talk about selling your soul to the devil and all this different type of stuff. Even if he does give you all the riches and the fame and whatever it is that he quote unquote promises, everybody talks about how that comes with a price. You don't just get those things and then don't get consequences to those things. I mean, I hate to say look at Diddy, but he's the most relevant person right now. I mean, look, he had all the things, right? At the end of the day, when you're doing things behind the scenes, it's going to come out, right? The truth is going to come to the light of what is truly in place, and things like that. And some people like that think they're invincible, right? Think that there's nothing that can be done to me because I'm me, right? But how how I can't remember how that phrase now, like how far they fall or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it basically, again, pride comes before the fall. And so, it just behooves us to follow God's path. At the end of the day, he's not in the business of making empty promises. What he said is going to be fulfilled. Now, he might have a little extra grace, extra mercy, long suffering nature. But I believe that we could take what the Bible says to the bank, and that's the juice, y'all. That's the juice this morning. Now, the Bible verse of today, if we need a confirmation, is this right here, Luke 12:40. It says, "Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when we think not." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, hope that you guys are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Thank you to the person that's watching live. I saw some people tune in and tune out, but that's okay. Again, I hope that for those that have the ears to hear, that you heard, that you are encouraged and inspired to go deeper. And yeah, that's what's going on with that. Let me send this recording over there to my virtual assistant, Miss Elizabeth. Hey, girl. Let me send this over to her so she can get it out. I think I told y'all that she kind of took on some of those tasks. That's usually stuff that I used to do, like posting the audios and stuff like that. But she started doing that for me. So to God be the glory. Look, all I got to do is send it over, and it gets done. So thank the Lord for that. And everything. That happened right on time. There's an alarm that just went off. If I can do this real quick, I'm still having issues with my phone, y'all. Ugh. But anyway, if I could do this real quick, and then I can start looking up some of those things that I told you guys I might try to share with you all, since I couldn't remember my exact process of getting to this conversation today. But let me send this to her first. I'm sending it, and it's sent. Cool. All right, let me go back to my process for those that care. So no follow through. That was the phrase. It was no follow through that came into my heart and mind. So I started looking up verses centered around that. And then I started to have them conversations with my good old AI apps. Listen, Y'all can use technology for good or for evil. I choose good. So I'm like, let's talk about the biblical wisdom of. I'm like, so this is what the Lord gave me this morning. Help me understand X, Y, and Z. And so that's literally what I was typing in this morning. Where is it? I was like, oh no, NJ was asking some questions. He came in last night, because we both went to sleep early or whatever, and so we both was up, and he came in last night, and we just had a bunch of questions and whatnot. But let me hold on. Let me get this for you. Yeah, see, I had a big old long conversations with this. Like when I be for real when I say I'm having conversations with these things. But anyway, so I was like, so this morning, this is what I said. I said, so this morning the Lord brought into my heart the importance of follow through. And I said, and doing what you say you're going to do. And he posed the question, when has he not done what he said he would do? And he pointed out that most people lean towards empty promises rather than truth. I said, help me understand the biblical wisdom of all of this. Yeah, the app just broke it all down. Broke it all down in X, Y, and Z. And yeah, there's a lot of information and whatnot. I mean, like I said, I just shared the information that I felt like was relevant to the conversation of what the Lord wanted me to talk about with y'all. But y'all can go deeper, man. Plenty of ways to go deeper with all of this. But yeah, that's all. That's all, folks. I hope you guys are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. And I hope y'all have a wonderful Monday. And I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Oh yeah, let me tell y'all this just in case. I know I didn't go live Saturday. Maybe it's because I don't think I woke up late or anything. I just didn't feel led to. So I apologize if now that I'm getting to this place of like not doing regular juices or not doing them at the certain times anymore. And if people, again, y'all can always comment and let me know if that's something y'all need me to continue to do. If y'all like, Miracle, we liked it better when you was doing it exactly at 6. Y'all can still comment and let me know. But right now I just feel like I'm just being led by the Lord. So I just do it as I feel led to do. The only thing I felt led to do on Saturday was to reshare that I want to say quiz, but it wasn't quiz. It was more so like what did I call it? My words are leaving me this morning. All I felt led to do was to share what did I call that thing? I'm going to my Facebook because I shared it there. But basically the quiz that I put up, but it wasn't. It's not a quiz. It's just give me 1 second. I'm almost there. I almost got it. I'm about to tell y'all what it's called. Bible trivia. It just said Bible trivia. The self-evaluation. Yeah, I just felt led to share the self-evaluation on Saturday. So I made a reel, like a little clip of me talking about it, and then in the caption is the self-evaluation. So I hope that you guys took it. I hope that it's encouraging and inspiring you, showing you where you are right now spiritually, and that it helps. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to acknowledge that, yes, I understand that I didn't go live Saturday, and I know that if somebody was looking for that, my apologies. But I hope that you guys are still encouraged and inspired by all the juices that have been already released, and the things that God do have me to release. And yeah, that's it though. That's it, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye.